still in the running for that #1 overall pick. So let's get back to Mark Tatum. Got a lot of nervous folks wanting to know what's in those envelopes, Mark.
Thanks again, Rachel. The 4th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft goes to the Chicago Bulls. The 3rd pick will be made by the Charlotte Hornets. The 2nd pick goes to the Golden State Warriors, and that means that the #1 pick in the 2020 NBA Draft goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
D'Angelo Russell, you just got to Minnesota a few months ago. You're already bringing the team such good luck. What do you think it will be like if you and Karl Anthony Towns have another #1 overall pick to play beside you guys?
Wow, super exciting. I trust, Gerson as an organization. We trust Gerson and Ryan and all those guys to, continue making Minnesota, a home for, some of the younger guys coming up, and even for some all-star guys coming in. I think, it's the bar is set now, so we're excited to get it going.
Excellent. Thank you so much, D'Angelo. Good luck to you there. Here's the entire draft lottery order. Minnesota at the very top, and their trade partner for D'Angelo Russell, the Golden State Warriors, at #2, the Hornets at #3, and you see the Celtics in there at #14. They got that pick from Memphis. All right, so let's bring the guys back in here. Woj, from a franchise perspective, what is your biggest takeaway with the way the order panned out?
Well, for Gerson Rosas in Minnesota, he's almost turned that roster over since taking over a year ago. Talked to him earlier today. He was excited about the chance of getting at the top of this draft and really starting to dig down now into the details on James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball. This for Minnesota, bringing in D'Angelo Russell in that trade, you now have a chance to have the makings of a Western Conference playoff team in years to come. And for Golden State at #2, that pick is going to be very much in play in the trade market.
Interesting. All right, guys, on the player side, you both keep telling me there's no consensus #1. So if it was you at the button, who would you take at #1? Who would you draft, Jay Will?
Rachel, knowing that Andrew Wiggins was once there, knowing that Minnesota drafted Jarrett Culver, I like the makeup of this team. I go with Anthony Edwards. You can imagine if it's like likes of D'Lo and Karl Anthony Towns with Anthony Edwards, with that size, that frame, that grit that he could bring to the table. I know there's some questions around his motor, but if he can be committed to the defensive end, and if he could build on that outside shot, which is mesmerizing to watch, the talent he could bring to that team, playing alongside a guard that can find you. I mean, people forget about how talented D'Lo was, even when he was in Brooklyn. I mean, he was an all-star, and now having him on the team with Cat and Anthony Edwards, if I'm Minnesota, I go with Anthony Edwards at the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Anthony Edwards is the best overall prospect. He does need to become a more engaged defender, and with his athleticism and length, that should not be too big of a leap for him to make that. But this is a very strong international draft as well, and I would not be surprised to see teams at the top trading down to get multiple picks. You take a look. Here's the top 3 on my best available list. I don't have a big board. I can't afford one. I've just got a yellow pad that's got my list on it. But I've got Anthony Edwards #1. James Wiseman, if he can stretch out and shoot the 3, I mean, he's got it all, and really a fantastic prospect. And there are some question marks defensively and shooting with LaMelo Ball, but Mike Schmitz, as I mentioned before, has ranked him as the most talented prospect in this draft. And another guy to look at is Isaac Okoro out of Auburn, because he can really defend, and if he can shoot it, he could be a #1 overall pick.
All right, so Jay, you mentioned a few other guys. I want to go back to Woj then. You briefly mentioned that Golden State might be looking to trade that pick. What do you think that they are going to do with it? Is there someone that they have in mind, or if they are forced to make the pick, who do you think that they might want to go get? Woj, can't hear us right now, so we'll go to Jay Williams. Jay, what do you think Golden State's biggest need is going to be? Do you think that they should make a deal for this number 2 pick, or do you think they should acquire someone to be alongside Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins?
Rach, it depends on, what other teams are willing to offer and, what kind of trade scenario can you put in place and how much value is that on the likes of the player that they're looking for. Obviously, that's going to be up to them to determine in Bob Myers. But when I think about a player who's actually on the board, I mean, think about James Wiseman. When you look at his size, and I know the sample size is small for people because he only played a limited amount of games at Memphis this year, but the size, the frame, the tenacity he could bring to this team defensively, being alongside with Draymond Green and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, as a screener, a pick and pop player as well, he might be one of the missing links for this team. The rich continue to get richer.
Excellent, Jay. Thank you. So you've heard from the panel here. Let's check our mock.